Good evening, good afternoon, whoever you find yourself in this weird, wild, wacky world of ours, and welcome to the exciting installment of Darkness in Dublin. This evening's scene takes place as Anna, bless her heart, races through the night city, races through the city at night, the rain sloshing down on high, seeming to be a never-ending torrent as it batters her, the wind whipping around, and dragging her clothing this way and that. She has just witnessed a terrifying sight and has a sudden need to get a youth whom she drags behind her, whom seems to be in a glassy-eyed daze to safety. We shall join them as they burst through the front as they burst through the front door of the pub in which Siren's library is located. Um, so, basically, the pub itself, it is probably after chucking out time at this point. So the pub itself is deserted. The landlady behind the bar gives Anna a look that could easily curdle the blood in her veins. Um, Hang on, I'm just going to do this. Marcus. Marcus.
Yes.
All right, we are going to do that wonderful thing called GM Hand Wavium because it is a powerful element that I really recommend. So essentially, Duncan will be on his way, as he's never been to the library, has he?
Yeah, he's been there.
Oh, he's been there. Okay, excellent. In that case, you will be going to the library in order to see. You know what? You were trying to investigate some. Hmm, hmm. I'm trying to think of a martial art that Duncan would want to look up. Hmm. There must be one. Is there an esoteric or weird martial art Duncan would be interested in the practicing of?
Not really.
Okay. In that
He's there. He's there to study some necromantic texts because he has this gun, and there's things he needs to know what to do with it.
okay, that's entirely fine. So, in that case, you will literally bump into Anna as she is entering the bar. You will have entered a few moments earlier and are making your way towards the door. So, you will both intercede at a given point in the pub. Yes.
So, um, blood curdling glares and solid walls of human flesh aside, um, Anna does not particularly appear to stop until she hits someone. At which point she takes a step back, looks up, and holds out her library card and just says, "I need to get into the library to see Siren." With him, he's with me.
The woman looks you up and down from behind the bar as I've described her. She's a woman who probably in her 40s. At one point, she would have been considered a beauty, but then again, that's faded with time, as all things must. But she'll finally nod her head in one kind of slow nod. Um, Marcus, question. What is your avatar rating?
I think I have one. No. My avatar rating. I'm pretty dang sure it's two. But let me see. Two.
All right. You
No,
feel,
actually, I don't have a rating written there, so I got to figure out what it is.
if you don't have the background, I believe it's zero.
Yeah.
Okay. You feel positively buzzed as if energy is just coursing through you at an incredible rate. So it is not an unpleasant feeling, but it's kind of like one of those "Oh Jesus, Masters of the Universe" kind of feeling.
I get it when I see Anna.
I beg your pardon.
I get it when I see Anna, or is it just a general feeling I have?
Just a general feeling as she has entered the bar. So something is not necessarily right.
He will reach into his pocket, but actually won't do anything. And be like, huh. When he does see Anna, he'll look around and goes, "Did anyone else feel that? Just me?"
I'm going to go out on a limb and say yes.
I assume you're referencing the deafening roar that took place a little while ago.
Mm.
Mhm.
Yes, that. Yes.
In order for the scene to continue chugging along nicely, it is at this moment that Darcy will enter, having been sent rather unceremoniously for takeout. She is now returning with pizza.
I mean, he's no longer a Silence Apprentice?
I mean, you can think that if you'd like.
Yes.
You literally opened you opened your wallet today, at which point it politely requested enough pizza for 5 individuals to be brought to the library at this time. And at which point there was also a very small written note underneath saying, "I'll explain it then. Also, no olives."
I don't think Darcy has ever entered the library through normal means. But sure, I'm sure on the note was like an address or something where to send it to. So she's just sort of walking into the pub. And it's like, sorry, I know that people probably don't really care too much one way or another, but pizza.
Darcy, as you enter the pub, your derangement stops, and you feel an immense course of energy going through you.
She
You literally feel like $1,000,000.
she just kind of, stops for a moment, blinks, shakes her head. Wow. She'll at least like recognize Anna, so she's probably just gonna walk up to her. Did you order pizza? Because someone did. Well, I mean, I have an idea of who did it, but how the fuck do I get to that person? You know?
No, I did not. I'm not surprised by the presence of pizza because that looks like it's enough for a few people.
Yeah. I just got this note. She'll hand Anna the note. So there you go. There's pizza. And could you tell him that I quit? Cause I don't think this whole gig works with my lifestyle, and well, one thing is like kind of something that I can't not like stop. So it just means that I have to give this up, and it's fine because I kind of know what I have to do now.
You're going to need to speak to him about that.
I already did.
From behind Anna, for the record, Anna is leading this boy, who she has dragged here. At which point, you'll see his head turn to the side, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he starts to cry, like tears running down his face. He's not sobbing, but there's definitely tears running down his face, and all he'll start saying over and over and over is, "He's dead. He's killed him. He's dead."
Anna will turn around and put a hand on his shoulder and try to comfort him.
Yeah, Darcy will kind of put the pizzas on the table. It's like, I'm not gonna ask if you're okay, because you're clearly not, but is there anything we can do to help? Hi, I'm Darcy.
For the record, the kid has an appearance of 4, and now that he's kind of standing up straight and, not hunched over a fire, his appearance spec is in noble. But he kind of raises his hands to his face, and he doesn't start clawing at his face, but he kind of grasps his head and just starts shaking it from side to side before he'll start sobbing even more. And he just keeps saying, he's dead, he's killed him, he's dead.
Darcy wants to hug him, if that's okay.
Yep, you reach in and you hug him. The sobs are now coming, and they're kind of racking his body. So you're practically supporting him. He must not weigh much underneath he's wearing very ragged clothing. He is not by any means, well appointed or his clothing is not very well maintained or well appointed. It looks to be like what you describe as street kids clothing. So a lot of poles and patches. But yeah, no, he is.
Fine,
He is.
Darcy will hug.
He is. You don't seem to be able, as hard as you try, you don't seem to be able to console him. Actually, make me a charisma expression roll.
Okay. Do I have it? I have expression. I have charisma. Do I have Discord yet?
I was going to say something that everyone always forgets is that expression is actually the persuasion skill.
I know.
I know.
I mean, I also have seduction, but let's not start with that. No, I completely fail. It's probably because, street kid clothes. Darcy is like hugging, but it's like.
Okay, Darcy, as you touch him, you immediately see an epic fight happening, as if you were looking at it yourself, between a figure dressed in black armor. This is on a street in what looks to be a heavily industrial district somewhere in the city. Not far from here, actually, within, the library is only about 15 minutes walk from where this occurred. You see a fight between a man dressed in black armor and another man, very well muscled, who has incredibly overpronounced teeth, is how I'll describe them. Essentially red cap teeth.
Mm-hmm.
You will eventually see the man in black armor drive his sword through the mouth of the other individual before decapitating him.
Ew. That is so, 1300s or something. This is out of fashion for a long time.
Anna just looks at Darcy like, what the fuck? That's pretty rude.
Sorry.
So where's Siren then?
You two might as well come on and I think bring the pizzas. I need to get him into the library to see Siren, and I'm guessing you two also have business there.
I was just here to deliver the pizza, so you with the weird pants, he'll look at Duncan. Here, you can bring them.
The kid reaches out, and as you're about to turn to leave, grabs your hand in his, as in a desperate kind of "don't go."
If she gets jerked by puppy love, I will take the pizzas.
Okay.
I think that's the best response to this. Darcy's sort of like, okay, that's there. That's fine. You know what? We can take you shopping. Shopping always helps.
I love how that's your fixing for everything. Let's go shopping.
It is a fixing for everything. Shopping makes you happy. Or at least it makes Darcy happy. I hate shopping.
Fair. You guys will enter into the library through the portrait, which is coincidentally how you enter the library. Basically, there is a portrait in the one of the back alcoves of the bar that looks like a door that's been closed and forgotten by time, so it's overgrown and covered in lichen. You basically just have to close the curtains, press a small notch on the press a small notch on the picture frame and clamber through the painting. Um, the library stretches out before you. On every side, once again, it is lit by three massive, almost cathedral-style stained glass windows that shine down an illumination that looks like pure sunlight. From the other side, though, it can't be because A, it's night, and B, it's very dark outside. I would say A, it's night, and B, it's very, very overcast outside, even if it wasn't night. You will be able to navigate the library. It'll take you about 15 minutes or so till you reach the heart of the library, wherein you will find Siren's office. It's just a circular area where there are no bookcases. There is a desk. There are two large comfortable chairs. There is a coffee table. There are two sofas, and you will indeed see Siren is seated behind his desk, looking even paler than he normally is.
Anna will give a small, polite bow of her head. Master Siren?
Come in, Miss Anna. It's a pleasure to see you again.
Thank you. I'm sorry to intrude, and with something like this, but this was honestly the safest place I could think of.
Siren will Siren will walk up. He will take the boy by the hand. He will sit the boy in one of the chairs. At which point you will see him say something in if any of you have a Nokian on your sheet, he speaks in that. But if you don't, he will say a word that you don't understand. You will then see the boy fall asleep instantly. Good. Now then. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. This is not what I'd expected. This was not meant to happen, but yet this has happened. I don't know why this has happened, and yet it has. Oh, please, Miss Ellsworth, Mr. Campbell, do come in and sit down.
What do you mean this wasn't meant to happen?
Let me ask you something, Miss Ellsworth. Let me ask you something, Miss Ellsworth. He'll say, looking up, what is destiny to you?
Me walking out the door and going shopping again?
Nowhere is open currently for the purposes of your base materialism, Miss Ellsworth.
I mean, shopping is destiny.
Very good. Mr. Campbell, what is destiny from your perspective? I sense you have a rather interesting answer to that question. As Marcus unmutes himself.
What happened?
Oh, Siren is asking. Basically, they're asking Siren questions. He asked you, "What is destiny from your perspective?"
Doing. Oh, was that towards me? You want me to answer that? Oh well. From what I've read and stuff, it means the best thing that could happen. It's got nothing to do with you. Destiny's what you make it, actually.
I mean, isn't destiny what you become at some point?
Nah, you make your own choices.
Essentially, the story keepers, I'm led to understand, view destiny as the never-ending tale. It is the beginning, the middle, and the end, but then again, there never truly is an end. merely a continuation. In that case, Miss Anna, what to you is destiny?
To me,
Yes, the concept thereof.
the concept of destiny?
Yes.
Destiny is that point in the hero's journey where everything becomes clear. Your journey up until this point has led you to this moment. Success or failure does not matter. The point is to get you ready for this one moment so you have the chance of succeeding.
A beautiful analogy. Now then, destiny, or rather the river of fate, flows. Oftentimes it flows in a direction that is understandable. It is even capable of being read. This is why several individuals can read futures, can understand the passage of time as it ticks forward. What happened this evening was not meant to happen. Today was meant to be another ordinary day in the circle of the cosmos. However, for some reason, he stroked the child's head, the kid's head softly with his hand. This happened and has confounded fate, and I don't know why. I didn't know it was going to happen, which is unusual. I tend to know most things are going to happen before they do. For example, he will point to the third pizza. He will point to the second pizza box of the three, and he'll say, "I specifically asked for no olives."
Well, I considered you didn't want to eat all three of them.
Valid.
I like olives. They're good. They're good for your skin.
You're allowed to be wrong in this matter, Miss Ellsworth.
I'm not wrong.
He smiles at you, but
Look, the Mary Claire's totally said that olives are good for your skin.
Miss Anna, tell me
Fuck's-
what.
He said, "Fuck's sake," is what he said.
Miss Anna, why don't you tell me what actually happened?
So, what actually happened, there was a massive outpouring of prime energy coming from an alleyway where this boy and several others were gathered around a fire. It turns out it was coming from him. He apparently is the once and future king. Arthur, I am not entirely certain how he is, but he is. There was another who had also tracked the energy to the alleyway. He wasn't one of us. He was something different. But he also sensed it. It turns out he was some kind of knight. I don't know what connection he has to this boy, because this boy did not seem to know him. So I assume he likely has a connection to the once and future king, or was simply following the energy. It continued to build for some time, until, as we spoke to him, a great dragon manifested as the energy grew even stronger, like a bright blaze of fire. I would interpret that to be an avatar. We ran when someone whom I can only assume to be Mordred appeared.
Hmm.
The knight stayed to fend him off while we fled, and I can assume, based on his reaction once we arrived here, died doing so.
The boy king returns.
So did the knights briefly.
Yes. That is a complicated story. Let me ask you a question. Do you know what happened after Arthur's fall at the Battle of Camlan?
I know versions of what happened. I don't know which one is true.
Interesting. Very interesting. But this should not have happened today, and yet it did. This was not meant to happen today, and yet here it is. For some reason, fate has been twisted to the point that this occurred, or rather, something has been inserted into fate to make it occur.
So someone or something is manipulating fate then.
Well, oh, it's easy to find out, isn't it?
In what way, Master Campbell?
Well, it's just like a fight. If you're after a person, after a fella, and you learn how you talk to people who have fought him before, if you're in a duel or whatever, to learn his moves and all that jazz. Well, it's the same basic principle, isn't it? You see, something was done to make something happen that was not supposed to happen, and we all felt a great outpouring and whatever. Well, at some point in time, someone had to do the thing. So if one looked backwards, couldn't someone find that effect?
That is assuming that it was an effect. Fate is also odd. You must almost think of fate as a sentient creature. Sometimes it dictates that things will happen even when it itself had not planned them to do so, simply because of the random chance of the nature of itself. But your suggestion is not without merit, Master Campbell. Marcus in the back of your head. Ooh, look at who's Master Campbell now. All big and fancy. Don't you be getting too big for your britches.
It's not as if I let this posh boy over here tell me something true.
Look at me. I'm Master Campbell. Hello there, Master Campbell. Honestly, next thing you know, he'll be saying that he deserves two quarts of buttermilk.
Stifled one.
So, I had known that an entity who called himself Mordred had come about. He was released from that sarcophagus that was found some months ago and was causing problems for the Order of Hermes, apparently something to do with their wizarding war with the members of the now defunct or now reborn institution of House Diadne. However, is this boy related, and how is he related? I wish that I knew.
Couldn't we check?
Yes, we can. Damnation. In that case, he will take a large wrought iron key from around his neck and he will say, I must ask you in that case to reclaim a book for me.
Sure.
In the forbidden section.
Which book?
Well, I think that to arm ourselves for this particular conflict, we must first arm ourselves with knowledge. And I do possess the true history that was written by Geoffrey of Monmouth, unlike the altered edition that was perforated on his Wars of the Gallic Kings, etc., which may lend credence to what happened after the Battle of Camlan to King Arthur and his knights. That may yield us more answers. If we are armed with the knowledge of the past, we may yet possess the knowledge of the future.
All right.
Not that I don't think this is all well and good, but can I ask my thing then?
Can you ask for your what, sir?
Can I ask a question too?
By all means.
Well, how do you kill a cyborg? And how do you court a cyborg?
Those are two very different things.
Well, think on it.
I would assume that to kill one, you hit them, you stab them with the pointy end of something, and I would assume to court one, you do the same thing.
What, you thought I wasn't funny?
I also need a book on necromancy.
Interesting. You can also find that in the forbidden section, if you go off the path to look for one.
Okay, off the path. Yes, I can do that.
I have no doubt. You seem to be an individual who would prosper off the given path, Master Campbell.
Well, sorry. I understand it's probably some sort of common parlance amongst you, but my name's Duncan.
You're not Duncan Campbell.
I am too.
I knew your grandfather,
I'm
Angus
sorry.
Campbell.
You knew Angus.
Yes, I knew your grandfather.
Well, that sounds wonderful.
Indeed. He was very famous for making claims about the purity of the Campbell family brewery's whiskey.
Aye, she's a fine drop.
I have no doubt. He was, he still owes me 6 shillings and 8 pence. That's neither here nor there, though.
Were you locked out of Carson? Were you Carson, were you?
Was I Carson? No, I wasn't.
Coursing, the rabbit betting thing where you let the rabbit out, they chase the dogs.
Oh, no. No. He needed money in order to get the attentions of a sweet young girl named... what was her name? Katrina. That was her name. So I gave him enough money to buy her flowers.
So that's how he got it.
But then again, that was the action that assured the fact that you would be standing here today, and rather that you would be able to do the path upon which you were destined to fulfill. So, in the end, it was a worthy investment.
Oh, look, a wrought iron key and a door full of books.
I mean, I think you got the rod part right.
If you two would mind moving on, I need to speak to Miss Ellsworth for a moment.
Of course.
Darcy's giving them the please don't leave me alone. Look.
And Anna gives. Actually, Anna will mouth Dorothy. I'm sorry. And scuttle off with the key toward the door.
Mid-scoodling, Siren holds out his hand for Darcy to see if she'll take it.
I mean, she will, because it's not like she has much. I mean, even if she doesn't do it, she'll end up doing it anyway. That's her way of thinking. So she's like, yeah.
He places his other hand over it, so he basically has one hand under and one hand above, and he'll say, I am very proud of you.
Yeah, so am I.
Hmm.
It was quite a hassle to pick this outfit.
No. I'm proud of you because you were willing to place yourself in such danger for someone else.
What are we talking about?
Because of you, the individual known as Hope still has a fighting chance. or so I've been informed. Without you, she would have been lost to pain and suffering the likes of which I cannot contemplate.
Oh, I mean, I just kind of did what you taught me, you know? Just try real hard. It worked.
Yes, but the only way that you could have activated or rather drawn the power that you did, was by in your truest heart wanting it as much as you did. You did not, you wanted to help, and so you did, even at the cost of yourself, and I am very proud of you.
I mean,
Perhaps he stands up and he walks away and he puts his hand on his desk and he's not looking at you, but he'll say, "You wrote that you are unworthy to be my student, but perhaps with acts like this, I am unworthy to be your teacher."
I mean, I just said that because, it's just that I think I've basically learned it, you know? I did what I did.
You
It's
did,
fine.
indeed. There is still much left that needs to be taught to you. But he turns and he'll say, "I respect if you do not want me to be your teacher."
Okay, cool. I'm hating my character so much right now. But
I
hey,
beg He will smile and he will say, "What? Wait, hang on. Why are you hating your character? Context?"
I mean, Darcy's like, okay, that's fine, and you're no longer my teacher. And meanwhile, Saskia's like, no, Darcy, God damn it.
He will say, "The first lesson that any good teacher must teach is that ultimately, whatever you do, whatever course you pursue, whatever path you walk, you must do so with the fullness of your heart." And I think that you understand that lesson.
I guess. Yeah, totally. Right?
He will say, "My offer to help will always stand when it is you choose to come back. If it is you choose to come back."
Yeah, sure, that's fine. So, who's the cutie?
I don't know his real name, but I know who he once was. That was a very long time ago and in a different age. So, as to who he is now, we shall just have to find out later, won't we?
I mean, is this the thing again where you have, like, past lives and everything?
Yes.
Ah, okay.
In his past life, or at least an incarnation thereof, he was Arthur Pendragon, the once future king.
Who?
King Arthur.
Never heard of him.
No, even Darcy would know who King Arthur. Like, in fact, no.
I mean, can you? Can you really?
You have an academics of one.
I do? Oh, wow. Okay.
No, I
Yeah,
asked,
but
do you have an academics of one? I am looking at
uh,
the sheet.
let me have a look. Yes, I do actually. Okay, fair enough. So it's like, oh wait, that dude. Yeah, he's from the Disney movie, right? Turned into a squirrel.
Yes, let's go with that.
Huh. Well, that's grew up quite nicely from a cartoon character.
Go help the others find the book.
Oh man. But I mean,
Then I will introduce you to the QT when he wakes up.
okay, cool.
You can see as you leave, Siren has his thumb and forefinger pressed against the bridge of his nose.
Yes. Achievement unlocked. Ching.
Piss off, Master Siren.
make him sigh with exasperation. But sure, yeah, Darcy will go and try and find the others.
All right, cool. You guys will basically, if you look for the forbidden section, you will find a huge. It looks to be pig iron or cast iron gate that that is basically composed of what appears to be books that have been almost melded together in order to form its shape. It is a very ugly looking gate. But there is a single keyhole in the center of it. As you move forward, you will almost hear Siren's voice carry on the wind, and it will say, I would be very careful about not stepping off the path unless you know in your heart of hearts what it is you're looking for. It's very easy to get lost. On a side note, holy shit, I completely forgot about that. This is the second time one of Marcus's characters has been into the forbidden section of the library. Okay. So who has the key?
I believe Anna does.
Okay, Anna, you're going to unlock the door?
Yes, very carefully.
That is fair. As you step inside the library proper, this is the sight that will greet you. Huge amounts of books stacked high on many shelves and many levels. You don't see the little man standing there, but then again, I like this image of the library. Everything appears to be entirely composed of books, and in here the lighting is much darker than it is outside. You start to hear whispers, almost as if the books themselves are whispering to one another.
Does there appear to be a path through?
As you step inside, you will become aware of almost Victorian-style oil lamps that will flick to life, leading off in a direction amid the chaotic expanse of bookshelves.
All right. Anna is going to follow the lights.
Okay. Darcy, as you
Yes.
walk, you feel as if something like a spider skitters across the back of your neck.
Ugh. Get it off! Get it off! She's like, making those kind of dancey, awkward movements that you do when you think there's something on you. That
Anna, you feel as if there is a snake that is slithering just brushing up against your feet and coiling around you.
Okay, gonna take a couple steps back.
Neither of you can see anything as you swat at the back of your neck. As you look down, there's nothing there.
okay.
Hmm. You will hear a very gentle cough, like a excuse me.
Anna will look to see who made the cough.
You will see this gentleman who is standing just out of the light of the lanterns. Excuse me, I don't suppose any of you have a cigarette.
Anna will fish a pack out of her pocket and toss it to him.
Oh,
So bad for your skin.
much obliged, miss. I'm sorry, I don't know your name.
Please call me Anna.
Delightful to meet you, Miss Anna. And you, sir? He'll say, looking towards Duncan. Your name, sir?
Yeah, I got one. Do you?
I beg your pardon?
Yeah, I have one.
I have one too, as a matter of fact. I was asking your name.
I
If you
know.
wouldn't.
You first.
That's slightly abrasive and rude, but it is a pleasure to meet you. My name is, well, hang on, just give me a second. Check something. Uh, Give me just a moment. Where are my manners? Allow me to introduce myself properly. Professor James Moriarty. A pleasure.
Ah, I see.
And you, sir, now that I've been good enough to give you my name, perhaps you would be so good as to give me yours?
Duncan. Clan Campbell.
Pleasure to meet you, sir. Yes. Possibly a relation of Angus Campbell.
Aye.
We have one of his books here, you know. Fascinating fellow, I'm sure.
Well, where is it?
Beg your pardon?
Where's the book then?
Oh my, it's in the section on the living dead. Over there. He'll point down one of the dark corridors.
All right then. Knows where I'm going.
And you, young miss, a pleasure to make your acquaintance. I'm sorry if my smoking is somewhat repugnant to you.
I mean, it's your skin, not mine.
Ah, yes. Did you want this packet back, Miss Anna?
Please, if you don't mind.
He will hold it out to her.
Anna will take the pack.
In order to do so, you will have to reach your hand out of the light.
Would you mind tossing it to me?
Why?
I mean, it's just a package of cigarettes. The urge-
Yes.
Oh god, I need to check if I have like any kind of flaw that makes me do stupid stuff besides being me.
I mean, you have overconfident as a merit. I'm pretty sure this trip's
I-
overconfident.
No, it's overconfidence as a flaw.
Oh, you have overconfident. You could just grab those cigarettes.
Of course, yeah. Sure, let's do that. God damn it.
Oh dear.
Okay. That's fine.
Can you hear me?
You grab the cigarette.
Okay. Can I move fast enough to intercept her getting off the path?
Roll me an initiative check between the two of you. If the answer is yes, then you can. If the answer is no, then you can.
I mean, my initiative is terrible, so don't worry.
You've never seen me roll.
I mean,
You're not that bad.
I've seen myself roll. That's been terrible. I'm on 11.
Okay. Wow. That was a 1. Okay. Yeah, no, unfortunately, you're not fast enough to intercept her.
Aye.
Okay. So, Darcy, your hand leaves the light and you take back a pack of cigarettes. Everything's fine. When you draw your hand back into the light, from your wrist down, because it's only going to be your wrist that you had to extend out the light, it now looks as if your hand is the hand of an 80-year-old woman.
Ew!
And you start to see that very slowly advancing up your arm.
She'll just look at Anna, kind of like Look! What's that?
That is why we don't go off the path. For things we don't want in our heart of hearts. And Anna will take Darcy's arm and you know what? Prime Sight. Let's see what this looks like with Prime Sight.
Okay, knock on your prime sight.
All right. Here we go.
Yeah, Duncan. I'm sorry, Evan.
Yes, dear.
Can I use my believe in your heart of hearts? I'm going to assume that means spend a willpower point to go to where I need to be at, off the path.
You can assume that if you'd like, yes.
I will assume that because I have no other assumption to go on.
Whoa, 3 successes.
Okay. Anna, something is rewriting her pattern.
Oh dear. All right. I think I might be able to stop this. But
Please, I don't want to be old and ugly.
Oh my. What a predicament. What a situation. Thank you for the cigarettes. Thank you for the cigarette there, Miss Anna. I'm in your debt. Toodaloo.
not so fast.
Yes.
You are in my debt.
Hmm.
And you are Professor Moriarty, are you not?
Absolutely. The one and only.
Useful person to have as a helper.
Ah, my dear. However, I am unfortunately incapable of leaving this library, so I'm not very useful at all.
Oh, but you could be quite useful while we're here. Could you not?
That would richly depend. Do you wish to give me the ability to be useful?
Well, you take residence here, do you not?
Yes. Not a matter of my own personal choice, you understand, but something that one must do.
But you are familiar with this place and the surrounding area and the various pathways one might navigate around it.
Oh, yes, quite eminently familiar, as a matter of fact.
And you would know who else is here that we might bump into, wouldn't you?
Oh my, there are far too many names to mention. Let me Darcy, it's gone up about as far as your elbow now. Hmm.
So, while they talk,
For the record, Marcus, are you literally just going like straight YOLO and just running off the path?
Well, I mean, I don't really have any other options. It's the well, he's not running. He's trying to will himself there.
Okay, you step off the path. Everything goes basically in that moment. There's like a rustling noise, and then you can't see the path anymore. You are literally in a different. You are not where they were. The bookshelves are different, and there is definitely one that is directly behind you, blocking off your way back.
Is the book I'm looking for there?
Not that you can see, but there is a very definite kind of a. Yeah, there is a very definite kind of a. a way to advance. So maybe you can bimble.
I will bimble fuck my way to the book that I'm looking for.
Okay. So while Anna and Moriarty are talking, she will take one of her notebooks out of her bag and a pen, and she will start to write in it, and she will actually be writing in Enochian.
Mm-hmm.
She is going to dictate that as the aging effect slowly took more and more of Darcy's body, reaching up to her elbow, its progression halted and began to reflect itself back toward the source from whence it came. This is going, and I'm making assumptions here, so it's entirely fair if this does not work. Based on that assumption, this is going to be a prime 3 correspondence 2 effect to halt the magic rewriting her pattern and redirect it toward the source that spawned the effect.
You would have to have life.
I could add life 2 to it.
It would have to at least be life 3.
That's what I thought.
I'll make you, Miss Darcy, that is your name, yes? How would you like to be rid of that little malady of yours?
Yes, please.
It's very simple. Just invite me onto the path and I'll get rid of it.
I mean, Darcy sort of learned her lesson just now, so she's looking at Anna. Is that a thing we can do?
We can, but you do know who he is, correct?
Darcy would have absolutely no idea.
I know, don't worry. I got this. Darcy kind of shrugged. She just said his name was Moriarty, so I don't know.
Professor Moriarty is the Machiavellian criminal and nemesis.
I mean, why are you using all these big words to confuse me? That's just mean.
Okay. He is a bad, bad man who is incredibly intelligent, twists things in plots that seem to only work to his advantage, and the only person who's actually a challenge for Sherlock Holmes.
Oh.
In the stories canonical written by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, I believe he only featured in 2. However, in work that has been written since that time, he has become a much more prominent figure, and I would imagine has grown more powerful as a result of that. Is that accurate? Did I miss anything?
I could not possibly comment, dear lady. Flicking back over to Duncan. Duncan, as you advance through the bookshelves, you become imminently more aware that they are, in fact, whispering to another. Almost like, when you're in school and you hear somebody just behind you whispering. Until you will eventually come upon this woman who is standing in the middle of a large circular body of water. The water itself laps around her, and you see at the very bottom of this pool that it is paved with great book-like paving stones, that even if you squint your eyes, you can see titles and such that are there. But she will look up at you as the water cascades around her, and she will smile. I see you wandered off the path.
You're observant. I did.
I'm quite fine. And how are you?
Been better. Been worse.
You're Duncan Campbell.
Aye.
It's very nice to meet you.
Who might you be then?
Hmm. I have a lot of names, but I'm here today to be. I suppose you could call me the Maiden.
The maiden. Good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just here for my granddad's book. That's all I came to look in on. Then I'll be on my way.
Very well then. So, you and I will play a game in that case.
Why are we playing games when I'm looking for a book?
Because if you play my little game, I'll give you the book.
Okay. Will you get me out of here also?
Hmm, it depends.
On
If you
what?
if you can impress me.
Okay.
So, let me think. She taps her lower lip. What to do? What to do? We could play riddles if you like. I like riddles.
Riddles, you say?
Do you like riddles?
Not so much.
Why not?
Just people speak plainly to each other.
Speak plainly. No, I think we'll play a game of riddles, you and I. After all, you come from the blood of they, the people. Should you not know riddles? They speak in them quite constantly. Or rather, should I say, we speak in them quite constantly.
You speak of the kindly ones, do you?
Well, considering I am one, yes.
Well, sure you are.
What are you talking about, boy? Don't you be showing her no disrespect. You almost feel as if something bats you on the back of the head.
Ow! Aye, Grant, aye.
So, let's begin. A man exhausted from a long journey decides to sleep. He shuts off all the lights and indeed goes to sleep. When he wakes, he's already killed 365 people. He does not sleepwalk and slept all night like a baby. How is that possible?
Could you run by me one more time slowly?
A man, exhausted from a long journey, decides to sleep. He shuts off all the lights and goes to sleep. When he wakes, he's already killed 365 people. He does not sleepwalk and slept all night like a baby. How is that possible?
I killed him on a long journey and then he went in bed?
No.
Okay. Well, that makes more sense.
Two more guesses. For the sake of fairness, I'll actually write. I'll put the riddle in the chat just in case you need to read it over.
Duncan mulls it over. When he wakes up, he's already killed 365 people. He doesn't sleepwalk, and he slept all night like a baby. How is this possible?
Do you want to roll some enigmas?
Sure, I would if I had doubts in it. Well, would Celtic folklore be something I could roll?
Beg your pardon?
Would Celtic folklore be something I could roll?
With what lore, sorry?
Celtic folklore.
No, not really. This is really not a Celtic legend. It's actually really, really annoying when I've read it. I was like, oh, that makes sense, but it's a really horrible riddle.
And changeling lore won't help here, will it?
No, not really. This is literally a word game.
I know. I have to make sure. Okay. Go back to the others. I'll have an answer in a moment.
Okay. So Moriarty is standing there and he'll say, so, Miss Ellsworth, would you like to let me on the path and then I will be more than happy to see to your current affliction? After, oh my, it's already up past your elbow. By the way, can you guys hear me?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
we can hear you.
Saskia!
It helps if I unmute myself. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
No. So,
No.
Darcy's like, I already get in trouble so much with certain people. And while she's like making that half-assed excuse, she's like wanting really, really, really bad to have her arm look like it once did before, because that's annoying. And she's like, okay, so what do normal people look like? And she starts to kind of like, picture her arm, basically, without it being old, and just trying to get her arm back as it was.
I take it you also don't have Life 3.
No, but I do have Life 2 and Spark of Life merits.
Sorry, new. It is actively rewriting your pattern, which is pattern is 3 or 4.
That she wants it really bad and it's not working.
Yes. And in that moment, you suddenly realize, oh shit, Master Siren has so much more to teach me.
I mean, yes, but she already kind of knew that. But
Yes, but this is just proving the case. So he'll say, so, do we have a deal? If not, feel free to walk on. I'm sure the other denizens of the library will be more than happy to help you.
she's just sort of looking at Anna. I was like, I don't know what to do here. This is all new to me.
Okay, Professor Moriarty. You allege you can correct this.
Absolutely.
We could simply leave and return, and she would be corrected, and no one would reach off the path again.
No. See, this is where you misunderstand me. Once she leaves here, she will be as she is when she leaves. This place has interesting rules. If you want to P&E him to see if he's lying, you can. He will, of course.
I mean, I was going to say, you know what? Let's go with that. Let's go with perception empathy.
Cool. He is going to roll his subterfuge.
Give it a try.
Guess what Professor Moriarty's subterfuge is, kids?
A lot.
5. I mean,
Wow, that's only 2 successes. Holy
yeah.
crap.
Oh my god.
Hmm.
Ooh, one success.
I mean, you can have mine because it doesn't make sense for Darcy to necessarily see this, but she does.
Darcy's really good with people, though. She can tell if people are
Apparently.
lying. He's bullshitting. You can probably be fixed by the time you leave when you leave the library.
Evan,
Mm-hmm.
does this seem like a reasonable assumption to make about Siren and his apprentice?
Ask Darcy if she's Siren's apprentice anymore.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Oh god,
Anna-
Darcy's the worst apprentice ever.
Hannah will look at Darcy and ask, do you really think your mentor would send you to a place that could harm you without warning you that he could not fix you when you left?
Well, of course not. And by the way, if you're lying, you really shouldn't be wearing a mustache like that. It quivers when you do so.
But it's so fashionable.
No, really, it's not. Maybe in the 1920s or something, or the 40s, or I don't know, but not now. This is very hipster chic, which is not really a good thing, really. Unless you hang like Christmas decorations in your beard. Or glitter. They do a lot of glitter nowadays.
So we're going to flick it back over to Marcus. Do you have an answer for me?
Oh?
Do you have an answer for me?
No.
Go. So you don't wish to play anymore, Mr. Campbell.
Well, no, I just don't like that one. Can we try another one?
Very well. I'll give you another one, but it'll cost you.
What?
Hmm?
What will it cost?
A single yes.
What do you mean?
That at a certain point in time, I will demand of you a single yes, and you will have to simply say yes.
Do you wish to take this person as your beloved? Oh, gods.
That's probably the best case scenario.
That depends on who the other person is.
Well, currently the only power you have over me is you know where the book is and how to get out of here. However, if I know how to get to where I want to get back, if I can get back on the path on my own, then I really don't need the answer to this riddle, right?
No, I would argue the only power I have over you is she reaches her hand up, and it basically you see it as if a portal forms above her fingers, and her hand goes up to the wrist before she draws down a book that appears to be bound in brown leather. And the only problem is I have the book.
That book belongs to Duncan Campbell.
It does. Well, it did until it was taken from him.
Well, if the book belongs to Duncan Campbell, and I'm Duncan Campbell, I'd like the book, please.
Possession is 9/10 of the law, Mr. Duncan Campbell.
If the laws of the... Yes. You deny something to someone what was rightfully his by blood and kin.
Yes, happily.
Didn't know why they call you the kindly ones.
It's a giant misnomer. It's like the incredibly deadly viper. It's actually incredibly placid. Would you like another riddle in that case, Mr. Campbell? I'll even make it easier.
I'd just like for you to tell me the answer to the first one.
Oh, the answer to the first one is a lighthouse. He lives in a lighthouse.
Okay, then. So, he lives in a lighthouse. I've answered your riddle. You never told me I couldn't ask you for the answer first. Give me the book.
I'm also not bound by those very silly rules, Mr. Campbell.
What rules are you bound by, then?
Oh, you're starting to bore me. You can't weasel, cheat, and half-word your way out of everything you don't like, I assure you.
Of course you can.
So, your next riddle, if you want to accept the price. Do you wish to accept the price?
Nay, you've beat me at a riddle game, which is what you fair folk do.
Very well then. I tell you what, I'll give you this book, but I want something else in exchange.
Such as
A kiss.
a what?
Oh, not now, and not necessarily to me, but a kiss.
So you're gonna randomly tell me to kiss someone for that book?
Yes. Or rather, I will take the concept of the kiss.
What's the concept of a kiss? What's that mean?
It means that I'm far smarter than you, Mr. Campbell, and don't have time to explain the the idiosyncrasies of my thought processes to you.
Okay, then.
Do we have a deal?
Sure.
Very good. She throws you the book.
He catches it.
Okay. This book has one of the funkiest looking locking mechanisms that you've ever seen. It is made out of what looks to you like a golden bronze like metal, and it's like a dozen different wheeled cipher locks that you have to basically get in the correct order, along with getting another code right on the side before it'll open.
This is a book, the brain teaser.
Most things are, Mr. Campbell, but then again, it's just assumed one has a brain.
Well, I'm off to kill a cyborg. Thanks very much.
Very good. We then flick back to our intrepid duo.
Darcy, do you think you
Yeah.
can handle what's happening to you for as long as you're in here?
I hope. Why?
Because
No.
I can't fix it, and our dear professor has proven himself untrustworthy. I'm not certain I would trust that he could fix this.
Okay. Fine.
Very well. I'm not going to claim that I can do anything, but that is entirely up to you if you believe your own assessment as to my abilities or not. I will bid you ladies good evening. He will dip his hat, he will doff his hat before placing it back on, and will walk into the bookshelves.
Not liking this.
Just stay on the path and don't go off it. And at some point, I think I will need to pull Duncan back to us, though I'm not really certain how I'm going to do that yet.
Can will leave with his. He'll try again. He got here last time. He will try and find the path again. Hello?
Yes,
So
we
I
heard
hear
you.
you.
I was reading something. Very well. You two will mosey on down the path. Eventually, you will come to a large circle of bookshelves, in which you will find a large cast iron bookcase that has a screen over it that is locked closed with a key being required. There's only a single book in there that you can see, and it looks as if your key will fit the lock.
Anna will put the key in the lock.
You turn the key. The book will be sitting there. It is bound in red leather, and it bears the seal of 3 concentric circles that are joined at the center.
Hmm. Does the seal look familiar?
Roll me your intelligence esoterica.
Alrighty. I will do so. Do, 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 do. And I will spend a point of willpower on this.
Um,
4
sorry.
successes.
Just a brief moment. Duncan will enter. Basically, you guys will see what 2 of the bookshelves part in a kind of a creaking motion, almost like gates opening, as Duncan will walk out, looking rather bewildered with his own book in his hands.
Hey, you lot.
Ah, you found your way back to us.
I had to promise somebody something that's probably going to bite me in the arse, but yeah.
Anna will nod. All right. That's what did you promise?
Kiss or something.
Or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
To
Or
answer your
something
question,
bit
Heather,
worries me.
the three concentric circles together joined are the symbol of Camelot.
Ah. All right. Anna will take the book, tuck it safely into her bag.
I was going to say a quick question. Do you open the book?
No.
Okay.
She will tuck it safely into her bag. And secure it. Turn to the others. Okay. Let's all try to get out of here in one piece. How does Darcy look?
Darcy does not want to know how she looks.
Darcy's face has become half wizened like that of a crone.
Okay.
Is that normal then?
No, it's not.
What'd you do?
I mean, I was just grabbing something. It's not my fault.
Hmm.
All right, I'm going to do a quick scene wipe because it's getting late here, so I'm actually getting tired.
Okay.
You will manage to twist your way back to Siren's library. He will fix Darcy, for the record. He will kind of give her an exasperated look like, oh dear, not again.
Darcy's just looking rather panicked.
However, when he opens the book, he will find that it is entirely blank. Interesting. It would appear as though something doesn't want us to know, or rather, we need to find out how to read it.
Art hasn't been written yet.
Possibly. Fascinating. I entrust this to you, Miss Anna. If that's agreeable, maybe you can find a way to read it.
I will do my best. I have ideas.
Are you also going to take custody of the boy?
I don't have a particularly safe place for him to stay. That's part of why I came here. I just live in an apartment off the city center.
I mean, I can arrange a hotel room for him next to mine.
Very well. That may be for the best. I don't want to keep him here because it will be too jarring. And until he comes to accept his new fate, or the fate that has been placed before him, I want him to have as much normality as is physically possible. So yes, Miss Ellsworth, if you would mind taking him.
Okay.
I'll look in on him frequently.
I see you found your book, Mr. Campbell.
Yep, I had to promise Connie one kiss, but yeah, I did it.
Huh. Do you know what happened to your grandfather?
No.
Maybe you'll find out.
Could be.
Anything's possible.
That's what they keep telling me.
Alright, and at this point we will end our scene. Thank you players for playing. Thank you watchers for watching. This has been another scene of Darkness in Dublin. Have a pleasant evening.